Margaret Hamilton's menacing cackle in The Wizard of Oz still sends shivers down our spines. But the real woman behind that eerie green face was worlds apart from the villain she portrayed. A mild-mannered teacher turned Hollywood icon. Hamilton sacrificed safety, comfort, and sometimes her own peace of mind to bring the Wicked Witch of the West to life. This is the story of how one caring teacher became a legend of cinematic evil, and why she remained anything but wicked once the cameras stopped rolling. Childhood and teaching roots. Margaret Hamilton was born on December 9th, 1902, in Cleveland, Ohio. Unlike the usual Hollywood hopefuls of her era, she didn't come from a showbiz family or a privileged background. Instead, she was raised with modest means and grounded values, believing wholeheartedly in the importance of community and education. Even as a child, Hamilton was drawn to helping others. By her early 20s, she became a devoted teacher, working with children who immediately sensed her warmth and empathy. Yet, even amid lesson plans and chalkboards, she felt stirrings of a creative spark. She entertained her young students with songs, short plays, and heartfelt stories, discovering a knack for capturing their imagination. In these tender moments, Hamilton's future as an actress was quietly taking shape. She recognized that she had the power to engage an audience, no matter how small. Little did she know, the theatrical flair that enchanted her pupils would one day terrify millions of moviegoers. Stage break and personal struggle. Hamilton's pivot from teaching to acting took shape rather casually. She participated in local theatre productions and supported non-profit organizations focused on children. Every small play or community event allowed her to refine her skills in front of an audience. Then came a sudden, fateful moment. She accompanied a friend to audition for the Broadway play Another Language. Her only goal was to offer moral support. Instead, she snagged a role herself, launching her into the world of professional acting. The transition to Broadway, and later to Hollywood, was exhilarating, but also exacted a toll on her personal life. Hamilton married Paul Meserve in 1931, but her newly minted acting ambitions clashed with the demands of marriage. Their union frayed, and the couple eventually divorced. Left to raise her son, Hamilton Meserve, as a single mother, she forged ahead with unrelenting determination. Now, more than ever, she needed to keep working. Fortunately, film offers trickled in, and her reputation grew as a reliable, free agent character actor, the unexpected path to Oz. From a young age, Hamilton cherished the stories of Oz created by L. Frank Baum. She loved their whimsy and magic, imagining that if she ever got the chance to join that universe, she would surely be cast as a benevolent character like Glinda the Good Witch. So when MGM approached her about The Wizard of Oz, she assumed she might embody sweetness and light. But the studio had other plans. They offered her the Wicked Witch of the West, a role so opposite to her gentle nature that she paused before saying yes. Still, Hamilton could not ignore the financial stability the film promised. As a single parent, the paycheck was a lifeline. She accepted the part, diving into a whirlwind production that was rife with energy, drama, and a determination to push the boundaries of filmmaking. Little did she know, it would also become one of the most perilous chapters of her career. On-set nightmares. Filming The Wizard of Oz was notoriously challenging for everyone involved, but Margaret Hamilton's experiences were especially grueling. In a scene where her character disappears from Munchkinland, she stood on a platform rigged to emit smoke and sparks. On the second take, the timing went horribly wrong. Explosive flames engulfed her before she could drop safely through the trapdoor. She suffered second- and third-degree burns on her hands and face, exacerbated by the copper-laden green makeup that clung painfully to her blistered skin. Even after the flames subsided, the agony persisted. The film's makeup team had to remove her green face paint with acetone, a harsh solvent that made the recovery process nearly unbearable. Hamilton took 6 weeks off to heal, fully aware that if she complained or filed a lawsuit, she might never work again. Despite lingering pain and the risk of further injury, she resumed filming with a single request: absolutely no more fire tricks. Tragically, her stunt double wasn't as fortunate. In a subsequent scene, a malfunction caused an explosion that severely burned the double's legs, marking yet another terrifying incident on a set that seemed cursed. Fierce, loyalty, and friendship. Despite the relentless challenges, Hamilton formed powerful bonds with her castmates, none stronger than with Judy Garland. Garland was still a teenager, thrust into a rigidly controlled studio system. Hamilton's nurturing instincts kicked in whenever she saw the young star mistreated or overworked. When she learned that studio head Louis B. Mayer was forcing Garland to skip her high school graduation, Hamilton refused to stay silent. She marched to Mayer's office and scolded him for stealing such a significant milestone from Judy's life. That fierce protectiveness mirrored Hamilton's off-screen character. While the Wicked Witch terrorized Dorothy in the film, Hamilton's real-life affection for Garland was as genuine as it was enduring. Garland even nicknamed her Maggie, a simple gesture that underscored their tight-knit bond. On set, cast and crew members marveled at how Hamilton could instantly switch from sinister cackles in front of the camera to warm, empathetic smiles as soon as the director yelled, "Cut!" Public reaction and later roles. When The Wizard of Oz hit theaters in 1939, audiences were dazzled by the groundbreaking visuals and unforgettable music. Yet many young viewers came away shaken by the menacing, green-skinned witch. Hamilton's performance was so convincing that children sometimes ran in the opposite direction when they spotted her on the street. Worried about the impact on kids, she made it a personal mission to show her softer side. She appeared on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in 1975, carefully removing her hat and calmly explaining that she was just an actress playing a part. Despite her good intentions, many youngsters still found it hard to separate the kindly woman from the iconic villain. Hamilton attempted a playful cameo as the Wicked Witch on Sesame Street, hoping a bit of humor might ease children's fears. But the episode aired only once, after concerned parents complained that her appearance was too scary. Realizing she couldn't fully escape the witch's shadow, Hamilton chose to embrace it on her own terms in later projects. Small film and TV roles often contained subtle nods to Oz, and she sprinkled wry references to brooms or ruby slippers, using a light-hearted touch that reminded audiences she was in on the joke. Section 7. Life After Oz. Even as she navigated Hollywood's ups and downs, Hamilton never lost her passion for education. She founded a kindergarten at a church in Beverly Hills, quietly returning to her old love of teaching children whenever she could. For many years, she served on the local Board of Education, championing better resources for public schools. While she never abandoned acting entirely, her devotion to kids ran just as deep as her commitment to the craft. By her 60s, she found tranquility in Maine, where she and her son purchased a small private island, affectionately nicknamed Witch's Island by local residents. This rustic retreat had no electricity, requiring kerosene lamps and wood stoves. Far from the bustling sound stages of Hollywood, Hamilton chopped wood, savored the ocean breeze, and connected with the tight-knit Maine community. Neighbors there knew she was the Wicked Witch only by reputation. In person, she was a friendly face who cared more about the simplicity of island life than any sort of Hollywood glamour. Margaret Hamilton may be immortalized as a cackling villain, but her real legacy is one of resilience, compassion, and unwavering devotion, both to her craft and to the people she held dear. She endured literal flames, toxic makeup, and extensive injuries on set, yet remained focused on providing for her son and creating an unforgettable film moment. Off camera, she was a fierce ally to friends and colleagues, an advocate for children, and an educator who never forgot where she came from. In many ways, the depth of Hamilton's character brought unexpected layers to the Wicked Witch of the West, influencing how future generations would reinterpret Oz's green-skinned antagonist. If you look closely, you might see traces of the once aspiring teacher in the witch's all-too-human frustration, a complex individual dealing with life's disappointments. And perhaps that's the real magic of Margaret Hamilton. She proved that behind even the most frightening facade, there can be a heart that genuinely cares. So, the next time you watch The Wizard of Oz, remember that the woman behind the witch was far from wicked. She was simply a determined soul who found her way to the silver screen on a broomstick that took her higher than she ever dreamed possible.